Alright guys, this is going to be a very quick video. I just wanted to introduce to you this amazing tool, lotr.gg. If you played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or Marvel Strike Force, you are familiar with this kind of a website. It's basically a tool that has all the information about the game so we can make more informed decisions. I was so happy when I saw that they had this already, because when I learned about it for Marvel Strike Force, I stopped wasting so many resources. So it's a huge tool, and I suggest if you're going to play this game like me, you get yourself acquainted to it. So this is for Lord of the Rings, Heroes of Middle-earth, and let's just do a quick tour. So if we check the characters, I can go filter by all characters, and this was a more digestible way for me to see all the characters in the game and to see their tags. And when I started looking at the challenges and who I wanted to bring in, I was able to filter using this right here. Say I wanted to tackle the support challenge, I can click on that and then it filters it out for me, and I was able to find the characters I wanted to bring, and then through the website as well, I was able to find out where they're farmable. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But also, if I wanted to see what characters actually do, I just click on the character. It shows me all of their abilities. You can definitely see all this in game too. I just found this to be more digestible. It also tells me who they're best with, the stats that they have, all that sort of things. I could also check out the gear that they need. Now, I don't think this will be super usable just yet, but as new characters come out and we have our current characters where we want them, we'll be able to come here, see what they need, and start preparing that gear for them. Another aspect of this website is going to be the stats page, so you can see how characters stack up against each other. I was putting a lot of resources into Mahur, and I was happy to see that he does have a high damage stat. He's been carrying me through the Shadow campaign for whatever it's worth. Now, this is a turn-based game, so speed is king, so if you're trying to judge your characters, I would suggest sorting by speed and seeing where they stack up. Back to Mahur, he's actually a very slow character down here at 140. Another thing I like about the stats page is if, say I just unlocked a new character, say I unlocked Gimli, I can come here, I can play with whatever star level I have him at, what level I can bring him to, what gear tier I can right now bring him up to, and see how he kind of lines up with my current characters. So I'll know if I should invest in him right away, or maybe wait a little bit. So that's it for stats. Now let's check the ability effects. If you played Hero Collector games before, you know these is probably like buffs and debuffs. In this game, they're called boons and banes. Boon being a debuff, bane being a... Boon being a buff, bane being a debuff. Said that backwards. So a lot of familiar faces. We got bleed. Expose is decreasing the target's armor. Might is increasing the target's damage. And then they kind of have the yin and the yang of each effect, right? So there's a damage increase, there's a damage decrease, and that happens basically for every single effect. Some of them that I'm not familiar with, demoralize. So all growth stats increase by 10%. There's also morale, which is all growth stats increased. I'm not familiar with what that is actually yet, but I'm excited to figure it out. Marked is something I'm not familiar with either, so it forces a target to taunt. Now, the game I play, Marvel Strike Force, has taunt, of course, but when an enemy puts taunt on you, it's a buff. Now, marked is a debuff, so we'll be able to cleanse something like that, so I thought that was a cooler take on it. More strategy there. Another thing I wasn't familiar with was weak-minded. Resistance is reduced. In Marvel Strike Force, once again, that's defense down, and they lump in, for Lord of the Rings here, expose and weak-minded. That's not one buff called debuff from Marvel Strike Force. So I think it's great that they're separate. So it's going to increase strategy once again. They also have crit up and crit down, like crit chance increase and crit chance decrease. And there are a couple buffs that are in the game right now, but they're not on this list, oddly enough. So blind is in the game, and that basically if a target is affected by blind, they're going to miss their next attack. Taunt is in the game. The character is taunting until their next turn, in which case they lose a stack of taunt, and if that's their only stack, then they stop taunting. Then there's provoke, which is like a baby taunt, and that's just they get stacks like my Aowen. No, that's not his name. Eothian. He gets 2 stacks of provoke, so every time he gets hit, he loses a stack of provoke. So he's effectively taunting, but only for so many hits, and I thought that was another cool strategic take on the taunt mechanic. The abilities tab is not yet available. The items tab I don't think is going to be super useful unless they develop some sort of structure where we can map out our current inventory into the game and see if we can prepare for characters. Then we have the campaigns tab. I thought this was great. This is where I was able to find out where characters are farmable. So if we go to the guild campaign, we can see all the items that are on the nodes as well as where the characters are farmable. And we can do that literally for all the chapters. Why this was super impactful to me, well, I guess the guild campaign actually doesn't have characters, I think, past chapter 2. Yeah, that's the last one. I think they're going to be putting more characters on the nodes. I'll be coming here to find that out. But yeah, so for the Shadow campaign, when I was trying to get ready for the support and the attacker challenge, I came here. And what I do want to say is, remember, the characters are only on the hard chapters, so you want to make sure you filter by that. And so I was able to find where the characters were, and through this, I was able to find out that the Isengard team, you can actually get 4 of the Isengard orcs very, very early. And so with this knowledge, I went ahead and I rushed the Shadow campaign. I now have 4 Isengard orcs, and they've been carrying me through the Shadow campaign. They carried me through the Orc challenge, and I was also able to get the Gondor Sergeant, who also was very helpful in the Light campaign and one of the human challenges. So this is where I came to make the video title that just flew over. That is going to be an unlisted video, but it'll be available soon. And the same thing for the Light campaign. If you want to see the characters, make sure you filter by the hard chapters, and you can see who's where. All right, so the last thing I want to comment on is this Discord button right here. If you are going to play this game daily like me, or at least play it long term, make sure you join this Discord, because the amount of information and knowledge share that happens in these community Discords is huge. It's more than I will ever be able to convey. And there's always people on there, always chit-chatting. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. This is lotr.gg. Once again, you're going to want to favorite this website if you are going to be playing this game long term. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Oh, also subscribe, because it's a new channel. Subscribe. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.